Chiefs Kingdom, what's going on? Happy Tuesday. Welcome into our live show of the week. We appreciate you joining us, and I want you to get that comment section rolling because, man, it's a good day to have a good day. So shout out your city. Where are you watching today's show from? I know we got some amazing viewers like Tony Fuentes, who's from El Paso, watching us, but who else in the chat checking in from your city? Get down in the chat. I see Jeff Dorn from Des Moines, Iowa. I love it. Rob Miller from Rochester, New York. Lennon from Edmond, Oklahoma. Let's freaking go. Jerome Bunkers in the chat saying Longmont, California. Lisa Cheney from Parsons, Kansas. David Stocking, Clinton, Missouri. Tony Fuentes, how are you? I'm doing good, man. How are you? Joaquin Solis, Hub City, Lubbock. Love it. Texas. Hub City in Lubbock, Texas? I haven't been to Lubbock. Been all over Texas. Lubbock is one place I have not been. I didn't think I was going to miss out. Lubbock's not, Lubbock's kind of, that's it. A little flat land. Daniel Norris from Independence, Missouri. Susan from Palm Beach, Florida. And then we got Christopher from Richmond, Virginia. Carson from Kentucky. David from Beaumont, Texas. Beaumont. Have been there. Been there a lot. I love it. Joaquin said the same thing. You're not missing out on Lubbock, so that's funny. Gary Holland from St. Joseph, Missouri. Tony Fuentes is ready to go. Well, before I get started, I do feel like it's only right. He's been off the show for probably at this point 2 years. I mean, he hasn't even said hi to me in the past month, so I think it's about time we finally get back the only producer that I know fit for the Chiefs Report because, well, you were here for the Super Bowl. Sam Brown himself is finally back.
It's about damn time, right? It's been a long time coming. A lot of travel for me the last few weeks.
Yeah,
busy
Combine,
with free agency, Super Bowl in Vegas, great time. NFL Combine in Indianapolis, great time. Back to reality, sitting at a desk all day. But no, I'm happy to be back on the Chiefs Report. A busy free agency, but not so much for Kansas City, mainly because there weren't that many holes to fill.
Wasn't a lot of holes to fill, but guess what they did do? They made sure that the one hole they did fill was a good one. Hollywood Brown signing with the Chiefs, big news, and honestly, really good. I love that signing a lot. I feel like it helps a lot.
Great value, too.
Correct. 1 year, $11 million. The incentives today were released, so finally I see those.
He kind of, Marquise didn't shoot himself in the foot necessarily, but I think the way the market played out with all these other wide receivers that signed first may have diminished his value just a smidge. Not severely, but to the point where maybe he was a little bit more in the Chiefs' financial wheelhouse and they were able to make the deal.
Well, it's funny. So they talked to him in his introductory press conference, and he said, I got to be honest, I kind of thought I was going to get drafted by Kansas City, and now here we are. So I think there's a lot of positives. He was right there.
I think. Correct. So what, the Ravens, I'm trying to think of where the Chiefs were drafting that year.
I believe they were 3 picks behind the Ravens, and the Ravens got him right before.
Marquise Brown. This is bad radio, but we're going to do it.
I know. I kind of forgot.
Let's see. 2019 NFL Draft. So he was pick number 25. The Chiefs were at – where were they at?
They don't have a first-round pick.
The Chiefs – wow, this is terrible radio.
Good thing we're on there.
Oh, that's right. The Chiefs traded that first-round pick to the Seahawks.
I was going to say, we traded out, didn't they?
For Frank Clark.
Correct.
And then the Seahawks drafted L.J. Collier, who was ass.
Yeah, it was terrible. Marquise Brown, a lot of positives. He was the only receiver to ever get 1,000 yards with Lamar Jackson. So think about what he could do with Patrick Mahomes.
And there's been some good receivers there. Zay Flowers had a better rookie year, arguably, than Marquise Brown did. He was very dynamic.
Probably about to talk about. Is he going to be playing next year? Have we gotten that whole report back from his whole?
Oh
yeah. I'm probably about to talk about that.
Sure.
I haven't heard much, and I want him to play. He's such a good player, but at the same time,
I am not going to speak out of
correct.
line.
I don't know anything, so I don't want to say anything. I didn't know if there was an official report, though. But hey, that's the way it goes. I want you to name a running back you want the Chiefs to sign. Well, speaking of the Ravens, I love J.K. Dobbins. There you go. Speaking of the Ravens, I do love J.K. Dobbins. He's potentially a running back I could see signing. We're going to talk about some others, but is there someone who is still a free agent that you would want the Chiefs to sign? Maybe a little Ezekiel Elliott action? Or should they just re-sign Jerick McKinnon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I kind of like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I would like to have him back. It seems like Mahomes likes him. McKinnon's a little older. I didn't realize how old he was. He's going to be turning 32 soon, so kind of crazy. Edward Corum says Blake Corum. Edward, any relation by chance? Any chance? Tony Fuentes says McKinnon. Packy Man says Cordarrelle Patterson. Jeff Jordan, any interest in adding Mike Williams from the Chargers? There was before Marquise Brown. Now, not so much. He's an injury-prone, older wide receiver. Marquise Brown is a little more expensive, but I think the better guy to get, and especially in terms of value, he's there. Dylan says Clyde Edwards-Helaire, so we get to kind of put his name back in there. Gary says Isaac Guardo, the running back. That could be a potential option. I mean, there's a couple of guys we'll talk about. There's not many top-name free agents left, but at the same time, the Chiefs don't have much to spend on top-name free agents. Jerome Becker, CH, actually played all right. Correct. I think he played, honestly, okay, considering at the beginning of the season, his bar was set so low. He achieved that bar and plus some. Lennon saying
Chase,
Odell.
I've got something in the chamber here I think you're going to like.
Oh, boy.
I'm putting it in there right now.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if Chiefs Kingdom saw this.
I missed it.
But fresh off Patrick Mahomes' IG story. He's already working with Marquise Brown.
Well, what's funny is Marquise at his press conference was talking about Mahomes and said that he's excited to get to work with him. And I don't know what the context was with it, but Patrick was like, I think they were either worked at the same place. I don't know if there was some connection they had.
I mean, they have.
I don't know.
The connection.
Where's Hollywood from? Is he from Texas?
He's from Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah, not
That's
Florida.
his nickname, but
correct.
I don't know. There might be some.
There was some connection.
Ties
I forgot what it was,
through, yeah, I don't know. That's actually a fun.
Because Mahomes said there are plenty of workouts. It wasn't a connection. Hollywood said something about exciting to catch passes from Mahomes, and he quote tweeted and was like, "Oh yeah, many workout sessions to come with Hollywood."
Clearly, they're already getting after it here.
Yeah, he literally was officially signed yesterday and already hit the gym. So
you don't mind it. Let's see the work ethic out of him.
Yeah,
too.
Hey, Hollywood came onto the scene yesterday, and he was like, "I want to get to work." So, that's the guy I want on my team, and I'm really happy to have him with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, excited to see that. Shout out to Sam. On the ball with
That's just how we roll.
With breaking reporting right away. All right, I do have this question, though. With Hollywood Brown being signed, are you still drafting a wide receiver in round one if you're Brett Veach? Type Y for yes, N for no. I have been saying all along yes, but maybe I am in a boat of my own here. So let me know in the comments. I'll be giving shout-outs to everybody as I see Tony Fuentes, the first one to come in as per usual, saying yes. Lamoni Robinson is saying yes. Packy Man saying yes. Paul Amos saying yes. Lots of yeses. William Wiles is the only one right now getting in. SML texting stories saying yes. Jerome Bunkers in. Hakeem Thomas saying a Y for yes. Kaysen Polly, Y for yes. Sam, another Sam, Y for yes. Packy Man, they're taking a left tackle. That could be a potential. Devin Nutter says Y for yes. Terry McCauley says tackle. Gary Holland says Y for yes. Deputy says yes. Lennon, XW in draft and get Odell. That's an option. Lisa Cheney says yes. Daniel Norris says yes. Well, we're going to have a mock draft coming up here in the second part of our show, so we can kind of go through that. I still am taking a wide receiver at round one, just because I feel as though that was such a big hole last year that if that was fixed tenfold with a couple receivers, you're not thinking in the middle of the season they may be a first-round exit. Because I don't know about you. The quarterbacks are all coming back, to our knowledge. We don't have a Snead trade in the works right now. Linebackers, I know you lost Willie Gay, but Drew Tranquil is officially extended, or re-signed, rather. Your line is pretty much back to normal besides missing out on Mike Dana at this current moment, but we'll have to see. I don't know a position that you're was struggling in last year, and you kept everybody, so I think I'm still taking a wide receiver, but that's just the way
I think you're right. I think the only caveat then, and this is, I'm stating the obvious here, but it changes the mold of receiver you're looking for.
Correct.
It changes the mold from an Xavier Worthy type to an A.D. Mitchell type, or a slot type of receiver, one where you're not necessarily compromising speed, but you add a different element of size, with A.D. Mitchell being taller, with Ladd McConkey being a midget.
That's correct. And I've always said A.D. Mitchell.
I like how you completely glossed over me calling him a midget.
He is. So he also has interesting hair. We're not going to talk about that. he may be the Chiefs player in like a month, so I probably shouldn't crap on him too much. But I really like Ladd McConkey. I think he fits the vibe of like the Sky Moore type receiver. I know we don't want to compare people to Sky because of what happened with him and it kind of maybe being a bust at this point. I don't know what to say, but I feel like I like Ladd's agility a lot more than Sky ever had at Western Michigan. But I do believe A.D. Mitchell, if they're at 32, is your pick. I just don't think he's going to be there anymore.
I think after the combine he had, it's going to be hard.
Correct.
I don't think people expected him to run 4.36.
Well, and that's what was crazy. The prize picks they had on him was the whole thing about more or less on his number. His number was 4.7. I hammered the less, and it was what 4.35 in the combine.
Oh, shout out to Prize Picks. Shout out to Prize Picks. I made way too much money off those combine numbers. They were so juiced.
They were.
Shout out to NFL Draft connoisseur Tom Downey too for basically taking my phone. I gave him my phone. I just told him just scroll through and tell me which ones you like, and he just went through them all and gave me nothing but winners.
That's pretty funny. All right, well, we do have a mailbag coming up as well at the third part of this show. So if you got a question, got a thought, guess what? Hashtag Chiefs. We're going to be getting you on the show later on today. Or you can skip the line with a super chat. And as always, especially with Sam back, it's even better to say this. But if you do super chat, we got a personalized Chiefs chop coming out for you. Haven't gotten to do one of those in a while, to be honest. It's been about a month or so since that. So if you're looking to get back on the horse, get yourself a Chiefs chop. Any super chat literally could be $1. Plus, we have Sam 6-second guarantee to get you on screen as long as I start blabbering.
Hey, you've learned. You've learned the rules. He hasn't forgotten the rule. I haven't been on Chiefs Live in like a month and change, but it's nice to see old habits still die hard around here.
Old Davids. Sounds like a mystery character or something. That's funny. All right. Use hashtag Chiefs, though. Start getting those questions in. Maybe some of our shows before that or prior to that, we'll be able to kind of spark some of those questions. I already see Tony Fuentes, first one off the board, hashtag Chiefs. What a legend. Let's talk about the other three shows.
Tony.
Yeah. Tony's always in. I promise you, if you go back 8 weeks, 8 months, whatever, and you look at a mailbag, you're going to see a question from Tony Fuentes. So
he's a real one.
He is. All right, coming up on live, we got a couple of different segments to kind of talk about throughout this show. First one being the top free agent still available. Could it be a running back time officially? Are the Chiefs going to re-sign some guys who they are still yet to fill that position up? We're also going to talk Chiefs mock draft. I told you yesterday, told you the past couple times, we're doing weekly mock drafts now because we're getting to the point where we are talking weeks instead of months until draft time, which is kind of wild. But, hey, that's the way the NFL season works and kind of a full year-round thing. So we're going to keep pumping out those mock drafts as we get closer and closer. This one's an interesting one. I have a spicy trade in there that I think would help out the Chiefs in a couple different ways. Sam's seen it. I've heard he likes it. So that's a good thing right there. And hey, a $10 super chat from Deputy 547 who has a statement, which let's read it right now. You'll also be the first one we have on our mailbag. We'll talk about you. Appreciate you, Deputy 547, saying Worthy is just fast. He is small and his knock is his hands. A bigger receiver that is slightly slower would be a better pick to have on a cheap rookie deal with big contracts coming up. Could not agree with you more. I truly believe that Xavier Worthy has helped out a little bit of his drop issue. He had 10 his junior year, or whatever you want to call it, 2 years ago, and then he had 5 this past year in his final year at UT. So obviously helping that drop problem, but I 100% agree that he's not worth it, especially when you have Marquise Brown now. I think Xavier Worthy is nowhere close to your pick. In fact, you're drafting Xavier Worthy is just a lesser version of Hollywood Brown. I'm going an A.D. Mitchell. I'm going a Ladd McConkey. At worst, if he's not there, I go a Troy Franklin, a Keon Coleman, which those are my back picks. I really would rather have the first two of A.D. or Ladd, but if they're not there, I still think you go wide receiver. But I really appreciate you. And Deputy 547, I haven't really seen you on here, so maybe this is your first time. But when you super chat on our Tuesday live shows, we like to give you a personalized Chiefs shop. And, well, I was going to explain it, but guess what? We just get to show you with our first super chat here. Deputy, 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 Deputy! 547. Let's go.
Got to get the party going. Somebody's
awesome.
got to set the tone, and Deputy,
Hey.
the bar's up here.
He said it. Legendary from Deputy 547. You're going to be our first guy, first question in our mailbag. If you want to be the second, got a super chat. So, again, here's what we're going on today. Top free agents still available, Chiefs mock draft, and then the mailbag, which Deputy 547, you are going to be the first question that we have in there, and we'll get to talk about Xavier Worthy again. So I really appreciate everybody hanging out with you, and Deputy 547, really, really big shout out to you. But Sam, without further ado, I think the top free agent still available is it's calling my name. I can kind of hear just the roaring of the show saying, Jace, I'm ready, Jace, I'm ready. And so, you know, I think we ought to get this going. Let me pull up everything I need here, and I think without further ado, let's roll the intro. Hollywood Brown is officially a Kansas City Chief, but is there more moves still to be made for Brett Veach and KC? Well, that's what we're going to talk about here, bringing up the last available free agents who could fit the Chiefs. We'll tell you all right here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I appreciate you watching. I'm your host, Jace Andrews, and on today's show, well, exactly that. We're going to give you the top free agents left for the Kansas City Chiefs and who I think they could potentially sign, as their needs are still definitely there. Before we get into that, though, make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys, because we are on the road to 54,000, and I want to prove my bosses wrong, because I'll tell you what, they told me right after the Super Bowl, we think the Chiefs Report could get to 56,000. Maybe. I told them, screw that. We're getting to 60 before week 1 of the NFL season. So hit that subscribe button. We're going to 54 right now, and then we'll be on our way to 60. So if you're not subscribed, you ain't alive. We got amazing coverage of the Chiefs all year long. So you see it flashing down there, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Join us today. Let's talk team needs for Kansas City, because it's very important to address these as both free agency still continues on and the NFL draft. The glaring issue to me, and maybe not as big of an issue, but depth-wise, is running back. I still feel like they need to do something. If that's re-signing McKinnon or Clyde Edwards-Helaire, that's great. But you have to do something with just Isaiah Pacheco and P. Ryan on the roster. Deneric Prince is still here as well, but I don't really want my top 3 to be those guys. Left tackle, again, still a question mark. Wanya Morris is slated to be the starter. Do the Chiefs trust him? Do they want a more of a veteran presence? Are they going to re-sign Donovan Smith? A lot of questions. And then cornerback and safety are lesser issues. I go more there for depth just because Justin Reed is continuing to increase in age, and L'Jarius Sneed could not be a Chief next year, or we don't really know. I still believe he's going to play on his franchise tag, but I want to have the depth piece there just in case something does happen. And the last one, I haven't talked about it much, backup QB. Mentioned Drew Lock as an option. Obviously, he is now with the New York Football Giants. What's next? How do they go up? They don't have anybody besides Patrick Mahomes, Chris Leduc, and Ian Book on the roster, and those guys do not sound like backups to me. Let's start with running back, though, because, again, I feel like that's the first glaring issue that the Chiefs need to address, because, simply put, they don't really have anybody on their roster that I trust behind Isaiah Pacheco. Last year, it was a 3-man mix that I would argue is one of the better Chiefs running back depth charts in the past 20 years, and probably one of the best NFL depth charts for running backs last year. But unfortunately, 2 of those guys on the depth chart, well, they're free agents right now. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the former first-round draft pick, with the LSU Tigers back in 2019. We all know how that team did. And then Jerick McKinnon, who's getting up there in age, but still continues to produce at a pretty alarming rate. Pretty crazy what he's been able to do as he still gets older. But I would still love to honestly re-sign at least one of them. I know that there's an option to draft a running back in the later rounds, and I still think that may be a good option. But I would like McKinnon or Clyde Edwards-Helaire back. Now, which one would I like? That's where I start to kind of maybe split hairs, because Jerick McKinnon brings a lot to the team. I think the first thing that he brings over Clyde Edwards-Helaire is his receiving bonus. And that's not to say that Clyde can't be a receiving back. I just feel that Jerick McKinnon is a better receiving back. We've seen him really pop off, especially in 2022, where Clyde Edwards-Helaire went down. Isaiah Pacheco was a rookie. Guess who stepped up? McKinnon. 512 receiving yards, 10 touchdowns. The guy was a menace. But the thing is, Clyde Edwards-Helaire still has a lot of prowess as well. But I don't know if I'm ready to give up on him just yet. Because his rookie year was honestly a solid start. Played in just 13 games, had over 800 yards and 4 touchdowns. That was going to be, all right, we see him. He's going to get better and better each year. But then guess what? We just weren't able to fully see him get better as the years goes on. He saw his yardage go down every single year until this last year where he only had 1 touchdown on the ground on 70 carries. I say all this to kind of bring up the same point that I have had the entire offseason. Clyde Edwards-Helaire still has some upside in my opinion, and he's young. So that's why you could potentially take him. Jerick McKinnon, I think, is the better overall back in terms of receiving and being able to be a third down back. So that's why you take him. But you probably only want to choose one. So you're going to choose the age of Jerick McKinnon, where he is 32 years old almost, or are you going to take the younger Clyde Edwards-Helaire who hasn't been able to produce as much, and you kind of know what you're going to expect from McKinnon? Clyde is somewhat of an open book. We don't really know what's going to happen just yet. With that, though, if you re-sign one of them, you don't, whatever. I still think it's worth it to take a look at the running backs in the free agency market because, honestly, all 4 of these guys sound intriguing to me. Now, you know what my affinity is with J.K. Dobbins. I've talked about him before. But Cam Akers, Ezekiel Elliott, and Cordarrelle Patterson are all great options as well. The 2 bottom options a little bit on the older side of things, Akers and Dobbins. Still pretty young. Injuries have kind of flooded their career. I still love J.K. Dobbins, though. I still think that he is a viable option. And I know that the comments on the video that I did about J.K. were all, I don't want an injury-prone back. I don't want the guy who continues to get injured. And while I understand that, and the fear of that is definitely valid, you cannot doubt what this guy did at Ohio State. You cannot doubt what this guy has done in the time that he's been healthy in the NFL. I still feel like it's time to give him the shot. Again, 2020, when he played his first year, 15 games played, 800-plus yards, 9 touchdowns in that first full season, and then tore his ACL. 2022, had the whole Achilles thing in the 2023. It's just hard to overlook the fact of the injury, but I almost question you. Just think about it. Because if he goes back to that form he was in his first year, man, that's a scary running back room of Isaiah Pacheco and J.K. Dobbins. I want you to get in the comment section of today's video, name a running back you would like the Chiefs to sign, because I still feel that's the most important position. So let me know down in the comment section who is the guy you would like to sign. Is it somebody I mentioned? Is it Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Jerick McKinnon? You want to re-sign them? Here's your time. Get down in the comment section. Let's go over to offensive tackles because, again, Donovan Smith is a free agent. I highly doubt they bring him back for the price that he is asking. And Wanya Morris is just going to be a second-year guy out of Oklahoma, later round draft pick. Do they trust him? Well, they have other options. Mekhi Becton, Charles Leno Jr., and David Bakhtiari. I think Bakhtiari is probably the most veteran-like option of the bunch. But, again, Wanya Morris is right now slated to be the starter. And so it's, do they like one of those 3 guys or other offensive tackle free agent more than Wanya Morris? Now, as of right now, he is set to replace Donovan Smith, and I don't know if I feel comfortable with that or if I would rather have a veteran presence. But I'll kind of give you some positives and minuses to this whole situation in just a moment. But before that, tell you about one of our amazing sponsors, because today's show is made possible by Prize Picks, and they've got specials for new and returning users alike for March Madness when you head over to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Football season may be over, but the action on the hardwood, well, it's just heating up. Whether it's March Madness or the fight for the NBA playoff seeding goes, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. And guess what? They've got some good deals right now. Caitlin Clark, yeah, she's going to score more than a half a point in Iowa's first tournament game in the Women's March Madness bracket. But also, we've got some games tonight. The last 4 in are playing. And guess what? I've got mores on a couple of guys. You can go put these exact same picks in right now and get the special with Caitlin Clark. I'm telling you, she's going to get more than 1 point. I can almost promise you that. I'm going the more there. More's across the board. We all know more is better. Now, March Madness kicks off tonight with the first 4 games. You can pick more or less right now. Prize Picks as well, also giving you that free pick for Caitlin Clark's matchup on Saturday. So just like more than a half point for Clark, and pair it with another winner for 3x your money. Prize Picks is simple. You pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. So get started now, if you haven't already, at prizepicks.com/CLNS and get a first deposit match of $100. prizepicks.com/CLNS. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy, and that link will be in the comments and the description of this video. Let's talk Mekhi Becton, because he seems like the most likely option from a financial standpoint and from a, I guess, making sense. It's just kind of the way I look at this. Now, his PFF grade wasn't exactly the greatest in 2023 at 53.2. Allowed 12 sacks, which again wasn't great. 8 hits, 30 hurries, 18 penalties. And I know that you look at these stats and you think, Jace, why in the world do we even think about signing this guy? Because this is not what he has done in his career. It was a oddball kind of thing. The Jets were a horrible defensive line as a whole. And in my opinion, I feel like in some ways it also means a lot if your line beside you stinks. When you talk about the worst defensive line in all of the NFL, it's the New York Giants, who had just kind of some people who didn't really fit. Well, with Mekhi Becton, I think it was that same thing. I think he just didn't really fit with that line. Now, at the same time, free agent is not your only option for left tackle. You could also go get one in the draft. It's just about if you're willing to, I'm not going to say waste a draft pick, but put another draft pick into it, because you already got Wanya Morris, and if you trust him, that's great. But are you going to get another young guy, or are you going to try and get a vet presence in there to help grow Wanya over time to where he could be a true starting left tackle? I don't know. Now, I will say this. Lions help a lot because they got to protect Mahomes. But I hate to say it, we got to start thinking about it. If Mahomes goes down, who the heck are the Chiefs going to play? Because I don't trust Chris Oladokun just yet. Ian Book signed with the Chiefs literally just 2-3 months ago. And that's all they got. Blaine Gabbert's a free agent. They could obviously re-sign him. I'm not saying that's one. But the only other QBs on the roster, Chris Oladokun and Ian Book. I want to have a more of a backup QB that I can feel as though I'm somewhat safe. Like, I know Mahomes goes down. In some ways, you're probably throwing in the towel a little bit. But I got to be honest, with how good this team is around Mahomes now, I truly feel like if he goes down, it's not the end to everything. Like Henny Madness back against the Jaguars, how can we get that today? 3 quarterbacks I'm looking at. One of them, funny enough, actually had interest in signing with the Chiefs a while back. Ryan Tannehill, who is the former Titans quarterback, he's one on the lower side of me. Tannehill has a lot of positives in his career, but I think his time is coming, I guess is the best way to say that. Trevor Siemian ended up playing a couple games with the Jets this past year. I feel like he could be a potential there. And then Carson Wentz. I say Carson Wentz here because he was the one who was talked about joining the Chiefs back all the way in October. Well, now they could actually sign him but potentially get him back. So that'd be an interesting kind of thing to actually happen. Now, I'm going to be honest here, and whether you like it or not, I think the Chiefs stand still. I think that they may just stand still and just wait. They could get a quarterback in the late rounds of the draft. Tului Tagovailoa is an intriguing option. Maybe they go Jordan Travis in the 5th round, given they have 2 picks. I don't really know. I honestly think they may just say, Chris Oladokun and Ian Book, you're up if Mahomes goes down, and just hopes they just hope Mahomes does not go down. All right, let's talk about L'Jarius Sneed, because obviously the saga with him continues, and I truly feel he will play on the franchise tag next year. That's my honest opinion from the reports I've heard and from the people that I have talked to. But I still feel, though, it's important to bolster up the cornerback room. And, well, I still think there's a couple of good cornerbacks left on the free agent market as we sit right now. Xavier Howard from Miami. Funny, he actually is a free agent. Guy was one of the best cornerbacks in the league a couple of years ago. Tre'Davious White, which would kind of be hilarious just because that was the pick that Mahomes was traded for. Stephon Gilmore in Dallas could also be an option as a potential add. But I do want to talk about Xavier Howard because he fits the bill in a lot of different facets with just the way he plays. And the cornerback style that Brett Veach likes, well, that's Xavier's way. 45 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 12 pass breakups, and 1 interception. Fun fact, though, I mean, these stats aren't great, but he actually had the same exact stats in 2022. You don't believe me? Well, guess what? We have exact proof. Now, in 2021, that's where he was kind of into his, I guess, average form, 50 tackles, 16 pass breakups, 5 interceptions, but then a 2020 year. It's going to go down in the history books. 10 interceptions, 20 pass breakups, 51 tackles. Xavier has a lot of stuff still left in the tank, if you ask me. The former Baylor Bear, who was one of the top cornerbacks in all of the National Football League for a couple years or so, now sits on his couch waiting for a call. I know they don't have a lot of money, but are the Chiefs done making free agency moves, or do you think there's still some to come? Let me know in the comment section down below. Type Y for yes if you think the Chiefs are done. You think no more is coming. At worst, they're re-signing a running back. That's what they're going to do, and they're going to call it good. If you think that they're not done, they're going to go out. They're going to get a J.K. Dobbins. They're going to get Xavier Howard. They're going to go get left tackle potentially. Well, type in for no. So let me know in the comment section if they're done. Type Y for yes. If they are not done, I'm going to go find somebody else. Type in for no. We appreciate you watching Chiefs Kingdom. Honestly, this channel is going really well right now, and that's all because of you. So if you have not yet already, hit that subscribe button. And hey, you made it all the way to the end of this video. You liked at least a little bit of this. So why not hit subscribe? If you don't like it, guess what? You can unsubscribe in a couple days. But for now, that's all we got. Chiefs Kingdom. Peace out. All right. One show. Gone. How are you feeling, guys? Are the Chiefs done? Why for yes and for no? Jeff Dorn saying no. While Amos saying yes. SML texting source saying no. Pac-Man says yes. Left tackles needed. Tony Fuentes saying why for yes. Jerome Bunkers not done. This time is Veach wheelhouse time. I do agree. Veach tends to make some interesting moves. I remember, and maybe Sam can speak better to this. Mike Edwards was signed in May of last year, and he ended up being a really, really good safety for the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. There's so many guys that will make their way to OTAs, and their teams, this is team strategy too. Teams want to make it to OTAs, get the first look at their current, quote-unquote, current roster, and see where those holes lie. And they know they've got money to save, A, for their rookies, the draft picks and stuff like that, but B, for the possibility of adding someone in OTAs, training camps, so on and so forth. So, a lot of these guys can wind up waiting until the summertime, really, to pick a new home.
Yeah, well, the Chiefs right now sitting around $10 million in cap space, which obviously, again, you're going to spend about $5 million on your draft picks. I mean, you're pick 32, so you shouldn't have to spend too much.
It's more than that still, technically, once you stack them all up, because rookie scale contracts are just bigger. But
I didn't know if you had that, because you have pick 32, that contract isn't going to be as big. Because I know that if you're pick you got pick 1 through 5, you got to allocate $5 million to that pick alone.
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
It's a little bit more than that. It's not going to be substantial.
They have enough for it. I think it's the bigger point. But obviously they can make some moves.
Trying to see if over the cap maybe has it.
Well, that's what I've looked it up countless times, and I'm just how much does an average draft class cost?
So right now the current rookie pool based on their picks would be just over $8 million.
Just over 8. Okay.
According to Over the Cap.
They have about $2 million, and again.
So it's about $2.5 million for the first round pick, 1.2 in the second, just over $1 million in the third, $990,000 in the fourth, $875,000 in the fifth, $840-ish thousand in the sixth, and then $818 in the seventh.
Well, I do have a mock draft coming that has a trade in it where you wouldn't have to pay a third-round pick because you don't have it. Spoiler alert. But at the same time, I do think there's still some things that the Chiefs could do to open up their cash a little bit. They have yet to restructure Juwan Taylor's contract. I think that's something that they could do at any point in time. I mean, heck, last year we saw Joe Thuney have his contract restructured right after week 1. I mean, these things can happen whenever. So it's not like that they're stuck at $10 million and they have to keep it there because they're got to pay $8 million to their draft class. That's not at all what's happening. So Ethan Bennington, what's up, my guy? Appreciate you joining in. What's up? Lisa Cheney saying why for yes as though they're done. Chiefs fan Mahomes, Kelce Jones. Love the name. N for no. Make sure you're getting those questions in as well. Hashtag Chiefs. We got a mock draft going up here in just moments. But we already know Deputy is going to have the first question on the Chiefs mailbag. You could be the second if you do another super chat.
Right now, I can guarantee we're going to get Tony Fuentes in there. We're going to get Kevin Sontheimer in there. We're going to get Stephen Newcomb in there. And Jerome Bunkers in there as well. Plus, of course, Deputy. Kicking off the show from the top.
Appreciate that, son.
But yeah, if you want to get in the quay with your supers, you can use hashtag Chiefs. You can send in a supers chat. You can skip the line.
A supers chat? It's just like quay. Say everything wrong.
You can skip the line, get on the show, Like a fast pass at Six Flags. Who doesn't love Six Flags?
Who doesn't love Disney? Fast Pass at Disney. Genie Plus now is what it's called.
Wait, so what is it? Oh, Six Flags is the Flash Pass.
I was about to say Six Flags is not because Disney has
Six Flags.
Well, what's funny is I think Fast Pass is now copyright off. Like people can use it because Disney changed theirs to Genie Plus, so now people can start using Fast Pass.
It's kind of a lame name for it.
Well, it's because of the
Yeah. I'm just saying objectively, it's kind of a lame name. Like, what is it? Like if you sold me something like this, and you called it a Fast Pass, I know what I'm getting. It's good branding. Genie Plus sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like the guy out of Aladdin, just bigger or something. I don't know.
The questions you talk about on the Chiefs by Chat Sports. I will reveal myself.
I'm gonna come back with a bang.
I'm a bit of a Disney adult. I guess I am an adult now. I do love my Disney, so we'll say that. You should see my home. Anyway, make sure you're using hashtag Chiefs to get on the show here. But a little bit of a fast pass option with the super chat. But we got a mock draft coming up here in just moments. Over 150 people watching. I do want to try something real quick. Hit that like button. We got 47 people watching, and
Let's get to 69.
I was going to say 50%, but 69 sounds good to me. So
that's close. It's close enough.
I was about to say it would have been 75.
50% is like 72 people.
Yeah, 72, whatever it is.
Let's shoot for 69. If we happen to get 72, awesome.
Well, whatever, cool.
Awesome.
So hit that like button if you haven't already. We're already at 48 likes, but we got 145 people watching. So hit that like button because we got a mock draft coming. But I want to get this likes up because the more likes we get, the more people are going to join us here. And I don't know about you. This has been a pretty good show so far. I would like some more people to join us and have some more fun with us. So get in there, hit that like button. We are closing on 50. There's 50. So let's get to 69, as Sam would say. But yeah, got a mock draft coming up here in just a moment. So make sure you're sticking around. We appreciate all you. Deputy 547 with also a hashtag Chiefs. We'll try and get you into the show with that as well. But we also appreciate everybody hanging out with us. 55 likes. Give you some time while we do this mock draft to get up to 69. How about that?
69. 69. 69.
I would love to have I wish we could just put a giant camera on you right now. Just sandwich in your mouth. 69.
That's
69.
true. A little behind the scenes. I'm actually eating my lunch right now.
Yeah, I didn't mean to expose you like that. All right.
What else are you supposed to do at 3:39 p.m.?
It's kind of early lunch for you, isn't it?
No, I think if anything, we're right back. We're close to the average. Actually,
that's true. We're back
been eating
to
lunch at like 12:30, like a normal human being.
Yeah, I haven't had that in a while.
8 away.
8 away. 61 likes. 8 more people to get to 69.
69. 69.
Someone just please, Sam. Pause. 8 more likes. 8 more likes. There's 62.
That was a weird sentence you said there.
I said it and immediately thought, ooh, that can't be right. That can't be good. So, almost 150 people watching, 64 likes. Come on, we're 5 away now. At this point, we just got to get there.
How about this? Let's get into the mock draft. I'll tell you one thing. We better be at 69 fucking likes whenever we get out of this mock draft.
We're already at 67, so I think we're on a good shot.
There we go, Chiefs Kingdom. Now we're picking up the pace. Hey, we might actually get there before the mock.
Maybe.
68. One away.
Who's
gonna be the?
Who's gonna be lucky number?
Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
People are unliking, liking it, liking. One more. Riveting stuff right now on the Chiefs Sport. Riveting stuff. We do have a mock draft. We are going to talk football.
This is why you tuned in today.
We are going to talk football here in just a moment. But we're 1 away from 69. Like we can't just jump to 72, man.
Yes.
We put a lot in the show. So I think that's deserving of a full mock draft. That's the way it goes. So without further ado, let me go get that all ready here and mock draft 4.0. Let's get into it, Sam. Our 4th mock draft here on the Chiefs Report. Now, I give you a little bit of a spoiler. You're going to want to watch this one because I've got a trade mixed in that I think could honestly be a perfect one. We got an amazing show for you today right here on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. We appreciate you watching. I'm your host, Chase Andrews, and we've got some awesome stuff coming up. But before that, make sure you follow me on Twitter because I'm putting out some of my mock drafts on there before I put it on the show. Now, how about you? I would like to kind of see what I'm getting into before I watch a Chiefs Report. So follow me on Twitter, and plus the next 10 people to do so after this show is published. Guess what? I'm going to follow those 10 back at Chase Andrews _ Follow me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. Give me a follow. I'm actually close to 1,000 followers, so it'd be pretty cool if I can get there before the 2024 season. Give me a follow right there at @JaceAndrews_. Link will probably be in the comments in the description of this video as well. Let's remind you on the draft picks the Chiefs currently have as we sit today. They've got their round 1 pick, their round 2 pick, their round 3, and their round 4. And then round 5, they have one via Dallas, and they have a compensatory pick. And then they got a round 7 pick over the past, honestly, couple weeks given to them. So now they are sitting at 7 total picks. And the nice thing about all this, you have 7 total picks, yet your needs, they're kind of slim, to be quite honest with you. You look at the cornerback room. You're pretty good at seeming like L'Jarius Sneed's going to stay. You're pretty good in the linebacker room with Drew Tranquil, Leo Chenal, and Nick Bolton. Your offensive line, for the most part, is a good place without that left tackle. The only thing, your receiver room with Hollywood Brown's good. I don't see many holes on this team. So guess what? You get to kind of buff out the team in whatever your way you see fit. And Brett Veach, hopefully he's watching right now, listen to what I'm about to do. All right, round 1, pick 32 is the same as last time. Ladd McConkey. That's the guy who I truly believe the Chiefs are looking at this point, specifically after the signing of Hollywood Brown. Because before then, I thought 100% it's going to be Xavier Worthy. They love speed. They want him to be there. That was going to be it. But then they got Hollywood, and I was like, well, there's your speed guy. I feel like he can attack at all different levels. So now get Ladd McConkey, and you add him to this wide receiver depth chart. Somebody stop me. I'm drooling. This thing is absolutely crazy. Rashee Rice, Marquise Hollywood Brown, Ladd McConkey, and then you got a supervillain as your wide receiver number 4. I mean, it's actually kind of wild that the Chiefs would have this wide receiver room just a year after people dubbed them as maybe the worst wide receiver core in all of the National Football League. Let's talk about Ladd for a moment here because I feel as though he is a good fit for multiple different reasons. Now, his college career at Georgia, nothing shy of spectacular, including a national championship. 14 touchdowns, over 1,500 yards, 119 receptions. And again, he is shifty. He is able to make space with whatever you give him. And I think the biggest point in all this and why he is again my first-round pick in this draft is because he's likely going to be available at 32. Doing these PFF mock drafts, sometimes I don't get to control who's taken before. Well, guess what? Both times I've done it the past 2 weeks, Ladd McConkey is the best wide receiver available. A.D. Mitchell's taken. So at that point, I got to go Ladd. So that's my pick for round 1, pick number 32. And I told you, we got to trade. Here is my trade alert as the Chiefs move up in round 2 with the Jacksonville Jaguars, giving them their round 2 pick at number 64 and their 3rd round pick at number 95 to acquire the Jaguars' 2nd round pick at number 48. That's the pick that I think the Chiefs would be certainly able to get this player I'm about to tell you. But do you like this trade? Be honest with me. Some people don't like trading up in drafts. I understand it. Let me know what you think. Y for yes if you like this trade. In for no if you think, I don't want to do this. Not a chance. I'll stick at 64 and keep my 3rd round pick. With that 2nd pick, I'm taking Braden Fisk because I got to be honest, I fell in love with this guy at the Combine. I think his intangibles are there. And his college career was pretty awesome at FSU in a pretty decent conference at the ACC. His PFF grade at 73.9 is really, really good. Sacks there, 19.5. QB hits at 15. And again, the hurries are off the absolute board. I just truly don't get it how exactly that goes. He started off at Western Michigan and then transferred to Florida State. This guy had an incredible career in college. And once again, watching the Combine, having Sam there, sending me back clips, telling me who he liked, we both agreed. Fisk was absolutely incredible. He was speedy. He was agile. He could move off the ball. When he was doing the whole drill to get around the offensive lineman, he was doing it. He was smacking the dummies like they just said something bad about his mother. I'm telling you, this guy is going to be an elite talent at the NFL, and that's why I made the trade, because he was not going to be available at 64. You get him there at pick 40, whatever. Chris Jones is staying in Kansas City. That's good. Derek Nottie is staying in Kansas City for his 7th season. I like that. George Karlaftis in his 3rd year in KC. I like that. The defensive end, Mike Danner, though, looking like he's going to be headed off to a different place. He's still a free agent. Everybody else there, Neil Farrell Jr., Tershawn Wharton, Mike Pennell in that defensive tackle range. Derek Nottie is great. I like him, but I still feel as though they need to continue to bolster up that defensive line. And Braden Fisk, oh boy, you're the guy that I see best fit. Round 4 now, because you don't get the round 3 pick. You go with Braylon Allen, the running back from Wisconsin, a guy that I have picked before in one of my mock drafts. This time, I think you get him at a better value here at round 4. Again, running back is still going to be a really point of contingency for the next couple days, maybe leading up to the draft, because you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jerick McKinnon, who are both still free agents, and honestly, the rumblings I'm hearing, there's nothing on them. There's nothing on a running back at all. It's just Isaiah Pacheco. They're sitting there like, hey, I would like to have some help besides Deneric Prince and P-Ryan. I want some help here. And, well, the Chiefs, they haven't been talking to too much. Now, Braylon Allen, I think, is a very good fit with Pacheco. He has some speed. He's got the body type that the Chiefs like. And he had a really good career at Wisconsin in his past 3 years. Over 1,000 yards in his freshman year and his sophomore year, and then almost 1,000 yards this past season, playing one less game. And the big number down there, 12 touchdowns, 11 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns. I think overall he's just a good fit in a lot of different mannerisms because, and I've seen this on Twitter, Braylon Allen was an absolute menace in high school, and he was really good in college. And if you think about guys who were just absolutely crazy guys in college, in high school, and then continue to do that in college, I think about the likes of Derrick Henry, for one, just going absolutely crazy. Josh Jacobs in high school to college, going absolutely crazy. This could be a similar type thing here, and you're going to get him in round 4? Yeah, sign me up, because I'm telling you, it'd be an awesome thing to have, and to pair him with Pop, that's a 1-2 punch I cannot live without. You know what I can't live without? Making sure everybody knows that I'm a part of the back-to-back Kansas City Chiefs champions. So, you can get your t-shirts right now, 50% off, by the way. I know if you were kind of waiting for the time to strike to get your championship gear, you haven't gotten any yet. Well, now you can get one for 50% off by going to chatsports.com/KCChamps. They've got all the names on the back of this one. This is one of my favorite ones, to be honest. You got champions across the front. I mean, who doesn't like to say, oh, yeah, I was a champion? Guess what? All of you in Chiefs Kingdom are champions for the second straight years. Guess what? Nobody can say that for the past 20 years besides the Patriots in 03-04. It's our turn. Go get these shirts right now. I'll have the link in the comments and the description as you see on this video. Chatsports.com/KCChamps. Continue on here with our mock draft, and I'm going to go Taj Washington, the wide receiver from the University of Southern California, at round 5, pick 159. Washington, not the number 1 at USC, but I would argue he was a 1.5 in some mannerisms. Over 1,000 yards this past year in 13 games, 18 on the average, which is incredible. 8 touchdowns overall, playing next to Jerry Rice's son, Brennan Rice. I know that it's kind of weird to sign Hollywood Brown and then draft 2 wide receivers still, but I'm still of the mindset to buff out this wide receiver room so that you can continue to develop it. Marquise Brown signed a 1-year deal. I hope that they extend that and maybe make him a Chief for the next couple of years. But this is a prove-it year, and if he doesn't prove it, then I want to make sure we have the back burner, because Rashee Rice, I hope, is a Chief for life. Past that, though, Ladd McConkey could be here for a while, and Taj Washington could also be here for a while, so I potentially love to see him added onto there. I've also talked about Luke McCaffrey, a couple of different wide receivers. On top of it all, buffing out the wide receiver is great. You need to realize that this is one of the best wide receiver draft classes we have seen in years. So that's just what I'm seeing, and hopefully we are able to get another version of that and another wide receiver in round 5. Let's continue on here. Go to our second round 5 pick, this one the compensatory pick, and we finally get an offensive tackle. And I picked Ladarius Henderson for this specific reason. He played left tackle in college, so he would have to really not switch up anything by going to the Chiefs, and it would be a nice 1-2 punch with Wanya Morris to kind of almost have a competition throughout the year in protecting Patrick Mahomes. He allowed 9 sacks over his 1,000 career pass blocking snaps. Waxahachie guy, Texas man. And you know, the Chiefs really like their Texas guys, because Rashee Rice, SMU guy, Patrick Mahomes, Texas Tech. Listen, fits in right well. And Ladarius Henderson, bigger guy, 6'4", 315. He reminds me a lot of Wanya Morris, surprisingly, which, again, if you don't trust Wanya Morris fully, this would be a guy to add on to the roster that would help almost make you feel a little more comfortable in the way and make sure that you're not going to be just sitting here waiting for everything, but you have somebody in the wings should Wanya Morris not work out. That's what I'm seeing from Ladarius Henderson. I think he's a good fit. Hopefully he's there at round 5, though. Let's go to our round 7, the last one. Pick 252. I'm going to go cornerback, and I like this one. Jarius Monroe from Tulane. I absolutely love what I have seen from him, and everybody's going to say, well, Tulane didn't play anybody. That's just not, like, why would you get him? I don't care if they didn't play anybody. When you're putting up stats like he was, I want it. A QB rating less than 50, 3 interceptions, only allowed 1 touchdown. Hey, sound familiar? Who only allowed 1 touchdown all last year? Oh, that's right. L'Jarius Sneed. His overall PFF grade was 81.5, which if you're kind of confused about PFF, give you a little bit of a hint here. I think of it as a test grade, but you add 10 points. So he's scoring an A right here in my book for Jarius Monroe. So I love what he has put on the field, and Tulane did have some pretty decent competition in the American Conference, so I truly feel it would be a nice addition to the Chiefs. And once again, I know that L'Jarius Sneed is expected to play on the franchise tag. It seems as though he will stay with the Chiefs, but I want to make sure that cornerback room is filled out should he end up getting traded later, or if he ends up leaving in 2024 after the 2024 season, because guess what? You got to draft for the future, not just this year. All right, so there's my full mock draft, trading away my second-round pick to move up and trading away my third-round pick to move up in the second round. Here's what we got. Ladd McConkey. PFF was pretty nice to me, got to be honest. Got an A for McConkey, got an A for Fisk, got a B- for Brandon Allen, got an A for Taj Washington, an A- for Ladarius Henderson, and then C+ for Jarius Monroe, which maybe I agree with this one because it was a reach, but I wanted a cornerback, so that's why I went with Monroe, and I honestly liked what I saw from him in his highlights and stats. Now it's your turn, though, because PFF gave me an A-. What are you grading this mock draft as? You giving me an A? You giving me a B? Give me a C? A D? Are you saying, Jace, you should be fired? This is an F. What are you doing? Well, let me know in the comment section down below because I truly do value each and every one of your opinions. I promise you. I'm looking at the comments. I want to make sure that I am helping out everybody, and if I'm not doing good on mock drafts, well, then we need to switch something up. So A, B, C, D, or F. You can add the A-, B-, whatever you want to do. Get down in the comment section and let me know. Hit that subscribe button because the draft coverage doesn't stop here. We're going to have more and more as we continue to go on. And obviously, free agency still kind of rolling ball, definitely slowed down, but that's okay. We got you covered on everything related to the Kansas City Chiefs and everything you need to know heading into the 2024 season. We really, really do appreciate you watching. But for now, Chiefs Kingdom, peace out. We're good, man. How we doing, everybody? Love the pick, said Packy, man. How do y'all feel? Grade the mock draft. Oh, yeah. Should have made that twice. Oh, well. Tony says he loves it. I think it's pretty good. I'm getting a lot of A's. Nick Star says A. Paul says A. Durant
by the
says
way,
A.
quick discussion we can have here. There was some news while you were in that cut. Mike Williams signing with the
Bills.
Want to take a guess?
The Patriots.
You want to guess all the other teams?
Jets.
Fun fact.
Jets.
I was gonna say fun fact.
I said the other two.
It's an AFC
The
East
Jets.
team, but you are not correct yet.
Jets.
He signed with the New York Jets. 1 year, up to $15 million. So
Did he ever get that breakfast sandwich?
I think probably very. I saw the Jets quote tweeted that photo. Yeah, I'd hope so. I'd hope so.
That was hilarious.
1 year, up to $15 million. This is essentially a significant upgrade over Alan Lazard,
100%.
who they've been entertaining trade talks for, by the way.
So
So I wouldn't be surprised to see him potentially released. I don't know the financial savings by it, though.
Well, the problem is he's just like how I kind of see Clyde Edwards-Helaire as Mahomes' buddy. Lazard has been Aaron Rodgers' buddy forever. He's not Randall Cobb, but he's been to Rodgers a while.
He'll take a fat pay cut, maybe.
Well, that's why I think David Bakhtiari is such a Jet. Give it a month or so, I think he's going to the Jets. Coming from the Packers.
Interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good 1-2 punch there. You have, what's Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams there now?
Yes,
I know Wilson was kind of
Garrett
upset,
Wilson's the one, Mike Williams is the 2. I mean, he's a much better 2 than what they had going into it. He should alleviate that pressure from Garrett Wilson.
And then Elijah Moore's with the Browns, right?
Breece Hall. Yes, Elijah Moore was traded to the Browns last offseason.
What's up, Ty, man? That's a good offense. If Rodgers stays healthy.
They had to revamp the O-line, and that's definitely what they did. They signed, I think, four. They added Tyron Smith at left tackle.
Great signing, by the way. Love that signing.
Signed John Simpson at left guard. and then traded for Morgan Moses at right tackle. And they still might take one at number 10.
Correct. They still.
Let's get some grades.
All right, we got A's from Bill Chase, Carl Bailey, SML Texans Story says C. That's fair. Hey, Jace, do you think the Chiefs will get Elliott in the 2024 free agency? Funny enough, we made a video on that just literally moments ago. We'll put that out. That'll be the one that goes up today. So.
Smart guy.
Smart guy. Richard Martin says A-. Ethan Bennington says B+. Sam, I know you had to kind of help me out with the show, so what would you grade my mock draft? Or just off the.
Let's go. Let's go A-.
Okay.
I'm a hard grader. Let's go B+. I'm a hard grader.
Let's go A-. I'm a hard grader.
You
B-.
can't,
B+.
In the end, I saw, so funny enough, your lowest grade that you got was on
C+.
Jarius Monroe.
Yeah, Jarius.
Honestly, 7th round picks, you can't give like a D.
I was about to say, you can't
can't give a D or an F to 7th round picks. You are literally throwing a dart at the wall.
Well, that's the thing. And Monroe, again, when I go to 7th round picks, I'm looking at film over stats. I don't care about stats.
Sure.
I want to see your film. I want to see your 40 time. I want to see like all that stuff. And I think his intangibles were there. But again,
even more news. Seahawks signing veteran Jonathan Hankins.
Oh, wow.
Hankins was with the Raiders, traded to the Cowboys. Then the Cowboys, I think they re-signed him, I want to say. But either way, he was in the mix to potentially return. So I'm sure Tom Downey is going to be in shambles once again. I'm going to pull up his Twitter just so I can see that.
Seahawks, big day for them. Kayvon Wallace as well earlier today. So
yeah, some real depth, big pieces.
Funny story. Adam Schefter literally just tweeted out Jets offseason edition so far. Tyron Smith, Mike Williams, Morgan Moses, John Simpson, Tyrod Taylor, Javon Kinlaw, Isaiah Oliver, and Lakai Fotu. That's his name?
I'm not sure, but I think it might be like. I'm not even.
I don't know.
I'm not going to set myself up.
I don't know.
Well, like I said, I named all 4 of those guys. That's where you subscribe to the Chiefs Report.
We got a mastermind of Sam with us. So look at this mock draft though, pretty nice. I like Braylon Allen. I think that's the one that maybe deserved the B-. I was questionable on it, but you need a halfback. You do, especially if you're not you don't have much money to re-sign people. So that's what I say. You have drafted a tight end, says Brian Kells. I have drafted a tight end, but that was before they signed Irv Smith Jr. Now with Irv Smith Jr., I don't think a tight end's on the board. I don't think that's happening because they like Noah Gray. You have Travis Kelce, obviously, and now you have Irv Smith. So there's no point. I do think Blake Bell, he is a free agent now, officially as of last Wednesday with the new one. So I don't think he'll be coming back, but that's the way it goes. Make sure you get those questions in. Hashtag Chiefs, or skip the line with a super chat. We already got Deputy, who's going to be in this one. So get in there, hashtag Chiefs. Sam said we already got some questions coming in, so that's pretty good. I see Terry Singleton just put one, hashtag Chiefs. So your thoughts on OBJ wanting to come play for the Chiefs and playing for Mahomes? Man, be nice. Talked about OBJ a lot. In some ways, though, I'm kind of out on wide receivers right now. I like Marquise Brown. I think he's a good signing. I think you draft Ladd McConkey or A.D. Mitchell. That's my thought. If A.D.'s there, you take him. If he's not, I guess Ladd.
Can I make a deal?
Go make a deal, man. Let's
I'd like to make a deal. It's been a while since I've hung out with Chiefs Kingdom. Let's go every $10 super chat during this mailbag. I will, at the end of the mailbag, once we get out of the mailbag, I'll go run back over to the other room and grab a quick bottle of Fireball. We'll do some shots for some $10 supers for Chiefs Kingdom.
Tell you what, I at least
Tuesday is basically early Friday.
Correct, basically. And I'll tell you what, I really want a $10 super chat. If we get one, just one, I'll do a Merbong.
There we go. I love the energy there.
So,
shout out to Deputy. He's going to be the very first question.
Correct.
Ideally, what I just want Deputy to start with the $10 super chat, and then we're just answering $10 super chats the rest of the way. And then if that's the case, then I'm just obliterating myself.
Sam's Tuesday is the new Friday because it is the new Friday because you won't be coming in tomorrow.
Trivia got canceled this week, so I don't have to use my brain for the rest of the day after this. Shout out to PD. He would have done the trivia. Browns Report host PD, Matthew Peterson.
Browns Report host PD, Matthew Peterson. Yeah.
They canceled on him for the first 4 games.
Jeez.
Right?
Why?
I guess they want the broadcast to be played in the bar, but that's
Who's
still
going to a bar to watch the first 4.
No one gives a shit about the first 4 games. So
I'm gonna have that on my phone while I play games and not really care.
I will check in the morning.
Yeah.
And probably not change my bracket either way. So what does it fucking matter?
Yeah. I'm gonna make my bracket after the games.
$10 super chats though. Let's get the party going a little bit.
$10 super chat, shots, and Merbonga. So we'll have to see what happens. But Let's get the mailbag going here. I think we got enough questions, so we will get going here. Any $10 super chat, you're going to be on the show as well throughout this. So appreciate you. Deputy will be the first question on here. Without further ado, Sam, let's get this thing going. What's going on, Chiefs Kingdom? It is time for my favorite part of the week, and that's going to talk Chiefs news and Chiefs rumors with you. Today, we got some questions from our Tuesday live show, which, by the way, if you have not joined us, you can join us. We're live at 3 p.m. Central Time every Tuesday. You can do that by subscribing today. We're putting out Chiefs content really every single day of the year, sometimes twice a day. We've had 4 times in the past 2 weeks going with 4 videos in a day. So get down there, hit that sub button. You're not going to be anywhere else that you're going to find this type of content on YouTube. So certainly appreciate it. And hey, join us on our live shows as well, Tuesday, 3 p.m. Central Times. Speaking of Tuesday live shows, Deputy 547 with a $10 super chat was a legendary guy. And he is our first question, talking about Xavier Worthy, saying, Worthy is just fast. He is small, and his knock is his hands. A bigger receiver that is slightly slower would be a better pick to have on a cheap rookie deal with big contracts coming up. Deputy, I could not agree with you more. And I'm going to kind of double down on your statement and say that Xavier Worthy is no longer the Chiefs pick at round 1, pick 32. Before the signing of Hollywood Brown, I was all in. I thought Xavier Worthy was the guy. You had the chance to go and get a speed demon, which is what you wanted. But that's what Hollywood Brown brings to the Chiefs. That's what he brings to KC. And I feel as though he fits that role better than Xavier Worthy. And you're right. His hands are not the greatest. He had 10 drops back 2 years ago. Did cut that down to 5 drops this past year. But considering what I saw from the Chiefs, I'd like a guy who has no drops. And, well, Ladd McConkey's hands, they're pretty good. And A.D. Mitchell's hands, they're also pretty good. So I'm going to go with those two over Xavier Worthy every single day of the week and twice on Sundays. Appreciate you, Deputy. Terry Singleton with a question saying, #Chiefs. OBJ has made known that he wants to play with KC. Do you think the Chiefs will get him on a cheap deal? A week ago, I would have said 1,000% yes, because there's not many wide receivers left on the market. But luckily, I don't have to say that anymore. Marquise Brown, who was the last viable option in my mind on the wide receiver market for the Chiefs, they got him. He is with Kansas City, and their wide receiver room is pretty dang freaking good. I really like what they have done with the room. And on top of which, OBJ, I just don't know if he fits into this anymore. Rashee Rice, Marquise Brown, Kadarius Stoney looking like a supervillain, Sky Moore, who I truly believe if he is in the slot, he has the chance to be really good. We just haven't seen that just yet. This year, though, guess what? He's slated to be the slot receiver. Maybe we'll finally see a breakout year from Sky Moore. We appreciate the question. Today Fuentes saying, I think bringing in Hollywood Brown to KC is the second best move. The obvious first best is Chris Jones back for 5 more years. Sweet! Man, Tony, you and I share the same sentiment because I do agree with you wholeheartedly. The first move was bringing back, the first best move was bringing back Chris Jones. Second best, primetime Jet. Already getting the work in with Patrick Mahomes, too. Shout out producer Sam. He caught this right off Mahomes' story. You're not going to find it. Literally up-to-date coverage right here. Primetime Jet and Patrick Mahomes working on the hardwood everywhere going. Man, I'm so excited to see this. I'm so excited to see this duo. I'm excited for Hollywood Brown, and hopefully we are able to see him in a lot of different manners. Now, with the signing of Marquise Brown, are you still going to draft a wide receiver in round 1 of the NFL draft? Maybe, maybe not. If you're Brett Veach, what are you doing in round 1? Type Y for yes or type in for no. Let me know down in the comment section. Kevin with a question saying, what should the Chiefs do about left tackle? There's a couple of different options here for left tackle. Now, the first one is to draft somebody. And as much as I like that, and I'm excited to see that, I think there's also the option of going into the draft and getting someone later. But right now, Wanya Morris is the starter. He is the guy slated to be the Donovan Smith replacement, so to say. Now, do they re-sign Donovan Smith? I don't know. Do they just go with Wanya Morris? I don't know. They've kind of been quiet about 2 positions this year. Those 2 positions, left tackle and running back. I honestly, at this point, I don't have much on them. I honestly can say a lot else, but right now it's kind of just sitting and waiting to see what the Chiefs do. Options are Wanya Morris or draft somebody, I think, at this point. Deputy with another $10 super chat. Deputy, you're on fire, man. Appreciate it. Saying, thoughts on Hayden Hatton. Production was great, and he's a bigger target. Well, Deputy, I think there's a couple different things that we have to kind of go in about this. Now, the first one is kind of thinking from a logistical side of contracts. And with that, we have to kind of see, I don't really think that it's right to bring him in from Idaho in the first place. It sounds bad, and maybe this is just me being a elitist, but if you're a receiver on Idaho's roster, I don't know if I trust you that much. Now, I do agree, he is a bigger target. He's a bigger body, but to me, from what I've seen from him and the pictures of him, he is certainly like a Travis Kelce wide receiver is the best way I could compare him to. I like that he's a bigger target, and I do think the one thing you are on to here, Deputy, he's going to be a guy who will be available in the later parts of the round. So have to see, but I would be intrigued to see what the Chiefs would do, but I don't think he's going to be a like, oh yeah, Chiefs got to go get this guy. But I definitely do appreciate you coming in here. Hey, maybe they do it, and if they do, I'm going to be texting you immediately because you were on to something before I even was. Jerome Bunker saying, how many wide receivers do the Chiefs carry this season? 5, 6, or 7? As of right now, they have 6. Those 6 being Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, Justin Ross, and Justin Watson. There's your 6 right now. Last year, they carried around 7 for a majority of the season, with the last one being Marquez Valdes-Scantling and a couple other guys. So I think this year they probably go 7 again. I think they draft somebody. There is a potential they stick with 6 by putting Justin Ross on the practice squad, but I find that a little bit harder when I know that they love what they've seen from Ross in his practice squad evaluations and a bunch of different things. So I don't really know for sure. If I had to bet, though, it's definitely going to be 6 or 7. But shout out, Jerome. We really appreciate your question. Steve Newcomb saying, I feel like the Chiefs need to try using Kadarius Toney in a role just like the 49ers did with Debo back in the 21 season. I think it can work out. I agree. I think that in some ways, Kadarius Toney is the Dollar General Debo Samuel. That's just the way that I look at it. Now, at the same time, we have to look at this and think, okay, you were looking at a potential to get Curtis Samuel at sometimes. I thought he was going to be a good option for getting that Debo Samuel type player. Kadarius Toney just has not been able to really work out in a lot of different mannerisms, and maybe he finally breaks out. Maybe he finally is able to break the system, because here, I'll tell you what. If you're wide receiver core, you draft Ladd McConkey, you don't whatever, you have Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Kadarius Toney who breaks out, and Sky Moore in the slot where he has flourished in his career. I'm telling you what, that is an absolute menacing wide receiver room, and I'm telling you right here, this is a supervillain picture. This guy is ready to get what he wants. Man, Kadarius Toney could be interesting, but I would kind of have to sit here and say that, man, they should use him like that. They should. Let's go on to our next question here. Chiefs, non-Swifty saying, what's the scouting report look like on the 49ers? What's happening with L'Jarius Sneed? Is he getting traded or not? And if not, are they going to extend him? Well, let's talk about L'Jarius Sneed. I think the other one's there. So L'Jarius Sneed, the big question with him, what's going on? What's happening? And how exactly is that going to work out? L'Jarius Sneed, I think at this point, is going to stay and play with the Chiefs on the franchise tag. The big reason behind that and the way I see that is because the Colts were the team that were in on him. Saturday, they was talking about the potential that the trade was done. It was going to happen, and L'Jarius Sneed was going to be traded away. He was going to be going to the Titans at some point. But guess what? Not anymore. So now I look at this and say, okay, the Lions who were in on him got Amik Robinson and a couple other guys. They're out. The Vikings have done other things, and I think they're out in terms of getting L'Jarius Sneed. The Patriots don't want to give up their second-round pick, so they're out. The Titans got Calvin Ridley with their money, so they're out. I really kind of look at this and think, okay, L'Jarius Sneed is going to play on the franchise tag in 2024, and that's the way it's going to go. What are you doing with L'Jarius Sneed? You trading him? You keeping him? Let me know in the comment section by letting me know with a T for trade, a K for keep. Will the Chiefs trade L'Jarius Sneed in 2024, or will he play on the franchise tag? I'm curious to see. Let me know. We'll have to wait and let you know. Ethan Biddington saying, what would you rather do, extend Sneed or trade him for cap space? Extend him. I know that that's costing a lot of money, but if you can find a way to work out the cap space to where for the next 4 years you have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, L'Jarius Sneed, and Chris Jones, pretty dang good. I will say, I think I may rather extend Trent McDuffie in a year. Playing in his 3rd year, really, really good from a lot of different facets. The Washington corner was amazing in the Super Bowl, really covered Deebo Samuel well, and that's exactly why I don't think he's ever going to get an extension from the Chiefs. I think they're worried about Trent McDuffie and his long-term future rather than L'Jarius Sneed. That's just my opinion. Carl Bailey saying, any understanding of why we didn't pursue Noah Brown? No. The best advice and the way that I can say this is Noah Brown was really coveted by the Texans, and although that was great, it was a 1-year type thing. He wasn't that great with the Cowboys. Now, they did have CeeDee Lamb with that, and there was a couple other options at receiver that was not Noah Brown. So maybe that's why he worked in Houston, because he was, for a portion of the time, with Nico Collins being the wide receiver 1, Tank Dell being injured, Noah Brown was a top wide receiver on that squad, probably wide receiver number 2. He was really never that with the Dallas Cowboys. So I truly think it's probably just because the Brett Veach really likes to hammer down on year to year, how are you looking, rather than just one-hit wonders, which I do feel is why he's one of the best GMs in all the land, because it's never about paying some guy who had one good year. You don't do that in the NFL, because one good year could be a fluke. You do it consistently, you're going to be good for a long time. Tony Fuentes here, another question saying, also, the Chiefs can also get Jordan Travis. I think he can be a good backup QB. I like Jordan Travis. I do too. Obviously, the gruesome leg injury, he'll be fine from that. He'll be back. I think that we could potentially do that, but here's my opinion. If they don't go out and sign a Carson Wentz, a Trevor Siemian, I think they are content with Olajuwon and Ian Book, who are the 2 other quarterbacks on their roster besides Patrick Mahomes. As crazy as that might sound, the way I look at it is this. If Patrick Mahomes goes down, in some ways you're kind of, I'm not going to say forfeiting the season, but throwing in the towel a little bit. What's the point of paying somebody who you're literally, oh, well, Mahomes is hurt, we're going to throw in the towel anyway? If it comes to that point, I think you just trade for a cornerback. You don't need to sign one in hopes that you have somebody if he gets hurt. If he gets hurt, then you worry about him. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do draft somebody. And I will say, if they do draft somebody, I do it in like the 7th round. Maybe Tului Tagovailoa would also be good. But Jordan Travis or Joe Milton, also decent options as well. We appreciate you watching Chiefs Kingdom. I know that it's some of my favorite times of the week getting to talk Chiefs with you, so hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as I do. But, I mean, for now, that's all we got, and we certainly do appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to be on our live shows, we're live, 3 p.m. Central every single Tuesday. Me, Sam, chopping it up, having fun. So for now, Chiefs Kingdom, we certainly appreciate you, but that's all we got. Peace out. What's going on, guys? Appreciate everybody.
You're going to love this question I've got.
Oh, boy.
It has just been announced.
Okay.
First, like literally 30 seconds ago, at the Kansas City Royals opening day game, Andy Reid will be throwing first pitch. Striker ball, let me know. Striker ball.
On his birthday, they announce it too?
That's
Andy Reid's birthday.
That's a great present. He's throwing a strike right down,
100%.
right down Broadway Street.
Opening day, Andy Reid throwing out the first pitch with the Royals. Is he throwing a strike or throwing a ball? I'm going strike all the way, man. He's got an arm.
Oh, yeah. He's throwing a hoss right down the middle.
Feel bad. Probably Bobby Witt. He's probably going to have to catch that thing.
Boomer center.
Bobby Witt.
He was committed to Oklahoma.
Okay, Jackson Holliday was committed to Stillwater, or was committed to Oklahoma State.
Bobby Witt's dad played there. Bobby Witt, Mr.
Bobby Witt, no, not Bobby Witt Jr.
Bobby Witt Sr. was an Oklahoma Sooner.
We got strikes from Katie Roth, Tony Fuentes, all the strikes going on. I'm definitely thinking strike, man. I'm definitely thinking strike. By the way, 96 likes. Definitely hit 69 and kept going. We got the opposite, 96. Look at that, Sam. You got it. Good job. Oh, man. Tony, I know, we got to get more subscribers here on the Chiefs Portrait. Be like going live Tuesday, Thursday, though, unfortunately. Jarek from Hope, Bobby Hartley. Oh, we are 1 like away from 100. There's no way we don't get this, right? We're 1 like away. If you haven't liked the video. Somebody do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Either or.
There are. Someone. Come on. One person.
Did anybody say ball? I hope not.
No,
Yeah.
all
Everybody's saying
strikes.
strike.
There's 100.
Oh, I meant to get this question on. We didn't get the time for it too, but Bill Chase was asking if you had caught his mock draft by chance. I wanted to make sure that you saw that.
No, he sent me a message on Twitter. He said he sent it on email, and I haven't seen it. So I don't know if you've.
Did you type in Jace at Chat Sports and not maybe not Jake accidentally or autocorrect?
Yeah, Jake's getting freaking.
Jace at chatsports.com, not .org.
Yeah. Also, I know you've messaged me on Twitter. You can send it to me on there if possible. That might be easier. But I have not been able to see it, unfortunately, Bill Chase. I'm sorry. I would love to see it, though. Would love to. How about we get out of here, Sam? I'm kind of tired. Gotta be honest.
Tired?
Yeah.
I didn't even... Oh! I have to do a shot for deputy!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit!
Deputy.
Be right back.
You want to fill up Murbanga for me? Here, hold on. Brett Veach, draft a wide receiver in round 1. So if we get more subs, we'll go live Tuesday and Thursday. Yep, Tony. If we can get to like 100,000 subs, we'll start going live twice a week. We'll start going live twice a week if we can get some more subs. So just need some more subs. Share the video. Get some more Chiefs Kingdom members to join our Chiefs support here. Why for yes from Katie. Love Katie. Dave Fuentes saying why for yes. Jim Reaper saying why for yes. Katie Ross saying 3. Pete. Let's go. Let's go. Would love it. Grayson Martin saying yes. Katie Roth. Tony Fuentes. By the way, is Deputy still here? Deputy, did I answer your question? I got to be honest. Hayden Hatton was a name I had not heard in a while. So I kind of had to think on that for a second. But hope we answered your question. Katie Roth, why for yes. Carl Bailey, why for yes. David Rodriguez. What a time. What a time, what a time, what a time for you and I. David Rodriguez. Carl Bailey. What are we doing here? Brett Veach drafting a wide receiver in round 1? If so, some of you have already said yes. Who are y'all drafting in wide receiver round 1? Reach for Bo Nix for a backup QB, says Carl Bailey. I don't like Bo Nix. I gotta be honest. I don't like him. I don't think he's gonna be good in the NFL. I know that there is people singing his praises. Just don't think he's gonna be good. Who are you drafting in round 1? Trey Benson. Heard that name from you before, Mr. Tony. Heard it from you before. Who are you drafting in round 1? T. Benson, my guy. If we get a 3-peat, Big Red should eat 20 Big Macs on stage. That would do numbers. Imagine an eating contest with Andy Reid. Door wasn't open enough there, Sammy. Oh, man. That'd been kind of wild. Yeah, exactly. We'll be back. Let's go. Welcome, Sam.
I did a little mini
Boo. Nice. Should we race?
Yeah, I'm down.
I think you're going to win.
Cheers to the kingdom. I feel like I'm at a golf course right now. Doing pocket shots.
I'm not at a golf course. I'll tell you that. Unless you bring more
might as
bongos.
well be.
Do you bring more bongos to your golf outings?
I bring Fireball.
See, I just bring Blue Moons.
Bring pocket shots. For whenever I inevitably just hate myself by the end of the round, I just want to drink. Is that a problem? Is that a bad thing? I don't think so. I know I'm not the only one.
See, my thing is, I just blame my bad round on the drinking. Think about that one.
No, if anything, I've come to find that I'm better.
Oh, I'm not. I am not. All right. Well, we appreciate you. Shout out to Deputy for your $2 super chats. We really do appreciate it. And we'll be back next Tuesday. So definitely appreciate you. And 104 likes, man. Pretty good show. Shout out to Sam. Shout out to everybody watching. Chiefs Kingdom. That's us. Peace out.